You're watching Ladies in the Locker Room. We'll be right back. Hello everybody, it's your girl, it's Hattie, and this is my Sports Quickie. Hey, we had a lot going on last week. College bowl games, NBA, NFL, everything. It was just crazy, especially here in Atlanta. We had a lot going on. First of all, though, I want to start off talking about Mike Tomlin, the coach for the Steelers. Yeah, we talked about it a little bit last week. He had an incident a couple of weeks ago where he stepped out on the field or close to the line when a wide receiver from the other team was trying to run in a touchdown. Now, he laughed, he made a joke about it, thought it was funny. I don't think the NFL is laughing. Rumor has it, and I don't know if it's true, but I'll find out. I was told that he was fined $100,000 for that little hat trick. Not so funny. I don't think he's laughing right now. That is a big ticket problem right there. Fined $100,000. At the moment when it happened, there were no flags thrown. It just seemed like nobody even seen it. I don't know, but you know the camera doesn't miss anything. So the NFL seen it, and coach, no laughing matter. 100,000 big ones. That's a lot. All right. Well, moving right along. In sports, again, well, in the NFL. Talk about my Atlanta Falcons. The Atlanta Falcons are still looking pretty good. Looking like we wish we could see them looking through the whole season. And it's crazy because I know some people are saying, hey, they're just getting in the way of these other teams that are trying to get to the Super Bowl or trying to get to the playoffs, and they're not going anywhere. Well, you know what? Hey, it ain't over till the fat lady sings. They're going to play, and they're going to play hard until the end of this season. And you guys, if you're supposed to be there, you'll get there. But you got to go through the Falcons. You got to go through the Falcons. Oh, well. As you all know, this week we lost a great man. We lost Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela has been named the father of a nation. After going to jail, spending all of his young life in jail, getting out of jail, and then becoming the first black president in Africa, and then changing just the way the culture was, and changing the way other countries and nations thought of Africa. He also loved sports. He was a boxer, and I didn't know that until he passed. He was a boxer, and they showed footage of him boxing, and he looked really good. He had a statement that he made in one of his speeches, and I'm going to quote it, because I really think he touched a lot of lives through sports. And it says, sports has, let me start again. And it says, sports has the power to change the world, to inspire, to unite people in a way that little else can. And I quote Nelson Mandela. Rest in peace. May our prayers be with the families and with the nation. This is your girl, this is Hattie, and that's my Sports Quickie. Next up, Rahmana Finney. Action.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Ladies in the Locker Room. I'm Rahmana, and this is my Sports Quickie. These injuries are on my mind, especially with Derrick Rose going out for the second time permanently for a minute. It's got me to wondering about injuries in the NBA, if there's an inordinate amount of injuries happening these days, and especially with top-level players. I've gone back to do some research to see if there was ever a time where Michael Jordan, Clyde Drexler, Reggie Miller, John Starks, Dominique Wilkins were all out at the same time, and I could not find it. And it makes me a little suspicious. I know that in the baseball league, they found a correlation between steroid use and a rise in injury, and I want to make a prediction. These athletes are using this thing now called HGH, which is human growth hormone. I have a prediction that soon they're going to find some type of correlation between these injuries and the use of this, because we just had these top players out at the same time. We had Kobe Bryant, Rajon Rondo, Russell Westbrook, Brooke Lopez, so many people out, Derrick Rose, all at the same time. Something doesn't seem right. Of course, it varies by player to player. Clearly, Ray Allen is okay. The Miami Heat, oh my goodness. I just want to tell Detroit, you can't leave Ray Allen all alone in the corner. He's going to shoot a three-pointer. That's what's going to happen. They beat Detroit 110 to 105. Also, clearly, Russell Westbrook is very healthy. They had to bring the Indiana Pacers down to earth. Even though Paul George came away with 32 points, KD had 36, and they just beat the crap out of them, 118 to 94. So I guess it varies by player. Ray Allen was saying that his health is very important to him, and so we'll just see what happens with Derrick Rose and with all these other players that are out. I do want to say, go Hawks! Paul Millsap was just going through Blake Griffin like the wind. Teague just outplayed Chris Paul. They beat the Clippers. Oh my goodness, 107 to 97. It was beautiful to watch. And congratulations, Kyle Korver, for setting a new record for three-pointers. Wonderful. I'm so happy to see the Hawks. All I want to say about the game against San Antonio after that is, damn you, Tim Duncan. That's all I'm going to say about that. I do want to say happy birthday to Dwight Howard. He brought it in great with 22 rebounds and a beat over the Orlando with 98 to 88. And of course, the highlight of the week was Kobe Bryant's return. After a little less than 8 months, he came back on court with the Lakers to face the Toronto Raptors. Clearly, he's taking his time. People were criticizing. I'm not going to criticize. I think I understand where he's coming from, especially after watching Derrick Rose. He had 4 assists, 9 points, and 9 rebounds. It's okay. I think as the season goes on, he's going to get better and better. And now for my poor baby. I just want to say, today I wore my Kango, which is the New York fashion statement. I wore a little bit of orange. I just want to say, poor Knicks. Poor Carmelo Anthony. I feel so bad. They lost in the worst loss of the season to the Celtics by 41 points. So I just want to give them some love and support. I hope they can get back on their game and get it going. Carmelo Anthony is a great player. Personally, I think it's a coaching problem. And I'm going to leave it at that. And so anyway, looking forward tomorrow to this Indiana Pacers Miami Heat game, Tuesday night. Let's all watch it. And I'll be back next week to talk about it. Thanks a lot. Once again, this is Ladies in the Locker Room, and I'm Rahmana, and that was my Sports Quickie.
Locker Room every Monday night at 7 p.m. for a live taping of our show at the Hudson Grill, located at 6317 Roswell Road in Sandy Springs, Georgia. The Hudson Grill is the best place in town to watch your team get down for sports, food, spirits, and fun. The Hudson Grill. Good evening, everybody. This is Ladies in the Locker Room, and this is our Word on the Street. Each week, we have a different discussion, a topic, what's going on in the sports world. This week, we're going to be talking about Jameis Winston. Jameis Winston, the Florida State football player, was charged with rape. Well, he was accused of rape. Now, there are a lot of different variables about this case, and we're going to discuss them. First of all, let's start off with the fact that this is November 2013. He was charged with rape December 2012. However, November 2013, the prosecution, or the DA, whoever in Florida, just made a decision on that case. So that's like almost a year later. What do you guys think about it, and what do you know about the case?
My thing is, I'm trying to wonder what took so long.
What took so long?
It took a while. I mean, court cases can take a while to decision, so it's not so much the decision time, but how long it took for the case to even get to the desk of the person who needed to be looking at it. But we know why.
11 months.
Yeah.
And the thing is that from what I've heard, and remember that what we know and what we've heard is all speculation, but what I've heard is that the young lady involved made the accusation or went to the police 1 hour after she left his house. Yeah. And so she made the accusation or went to the police an hour after she left the apartment, because I don't even know if it was his house or somebody else's, the apartment. she went to the police. So if she made the accusation an hour afterwards, it took them a whole year to decide whether it was or was not rape.
Yeah. I mean, none of the, honestly, as you say, I have no judgment one way or the other for innocence or guilt, because I just haven't seen enough of the facts and the details.
Correct.
And so far, none of the facts that they're bringing up about the young lady bother me, per se. I'm a particularly, I think, non-judgmental, accepting person, so that's just me. Nothing they're saying that she did, not the extra semen, not the fact that she went home with him, really bothers me, because rape has a large degree of definition.
Right.
I mean, whether you're talking about you're in an alley and somebody attacks you and it's clear, or you're with someone you know, y'all like each other, and you agreed to be with them. As you were saying earlier.
But you agreed to be with them, but you didn't agree to go there.
Exactly. At any point where no is
no is no.
No is no.
It doesn't matter. And I feel bad for young boys because, and this is the other thing, everyone gets all caught up to, oh, well, he's a football player. He's in college. He's an 18-year-old boy. He's an 18-year-old boy. He's still a boy. Okay? Now, just because the court and the law says we can try him as an adult and give him 100 years in prison, he's still an 18-year-old dumb boy that may make some dumb decisions in his life. He's still a teenager. So, when we talked about no meaning no, and we were real blank about it. No means no. If she butt naked laying in the bed with her legs wide open, guess what, young men out there? No still means no. Just because it's there didn't mean you can touch it if she says no. So we don't know. Was it that kind of a case, or, and he says that they had consensual sex.
But then it took her a whole month to actually accuse him, James.
See, I'm confused because now in one of the reports I read, it said she reported it to the police an hour after it happened.
Yes.
Well, did she say somebody? Because she didn't even know the guy's name that she went home with. So again, I know, Rahmana, you said you're not criticizing her, being critical of her, but that's another thing. You got in the car and left and went somewhere to an apartment with somebody you don't even know, and then after you had sex with this person, you went to the police and said, hey, I did go home with this guy, but he raped me. And then a month later, you show up, oh yeah, his name is James Winston. That's who raped me.
Yeah,
now I know.
That does seem a bit odd. Why wouldn't you know this guy's name? First of all, you're leaving a party with him and you don't know his name.
Leaving the party, catching a cab, going somewhere with him. I mean, I don't know. It's just hard.
You also have to be very careful about what you do and don't believe in terms of what the media reports.
Right.
Let me
correct.
just say that. There are often many details in cases that we are not aware of.
Correct.
That would explain a lot of things that seem strange, because the media picks and chooses what they choose.
Not only that, in a case like this, in a case of rape or the law, we don't know. All the information hasn't been put out there to us.
Yes.
We're just the audience and speculating on whatever we've been told. So that's a great point. We don't know the details of why they said no, this ain't rape. They may know something that we don't know that led them, and obviously that's what it has to be.
Yes.
They have to, in the profession and the careers that they have, know something that we don't know for them to come back and say, no, this is not rape. And the fact that it took a year, maybe they were looking into it with a fine-tooth comb. I mean, maybe. I mean, we don't know.
Well, we're getting used to there being a double standard when it comes to criminal charges. And I remember reading somewhere that some saying that says the answer to 99% to the answer to 99% of questions is money.
Yeah.
And this is a case where that's one of the answers. Anytime you're talking about a top athlete who makes money, there's always going to be that, why did this not go like it should go with the average person? Why did
Well, hold on now. Let me tell you about this. As I was researching the story, I was reading some information from a reporter in Florida, and she actually uncovered quite a few athletes that had been charged with either rape or assault.
Wow.
And they were found guilty.
Oh, wow.
Some of them were in the NFL, some of them were in the NBA, some of them were in college, but they were found guilty. And she said she did that because she wanted to know, because that's what she was thinking too. Is it because he's this big college athlete that they're saying he's not guilty? But then after doing her research, she went back and looked at how many athletes had been charged. Then she had a group of them that even pled guilty.
I'd like to see those names.
I'm not gonna give the names today, just because their cases were their cases and it was done, and like I said, in her case, all of these people were found guilty, and they were all either professional athletes or college athletes. But that was why she did the research, because that was her thinking, that maybe they're letting him go because he's a college athlete. But then when she did this research to find out how many college athletes or professional athletes had been found guilty of assault or rape or whatever, she found quite a few.
Which leads me to another thing that we've actually discussed before that I think is connected, which is, am I wrong in that there's been a lot of acting up in the NFL?
Yes.
There's been a lot of acting up.
Well, this is,
but
this is college.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this is 18-year-old boys.
Boys. But
Yeah.
I do believe that to some extent this sport in general creates an atmosphere where violent behavior is accepted to some degree, and we're now walking that fine line between how we deal with these young men and some of their lower instincts at the same time playing that game.
Let me tell you why I
the way they
disagree with you. Let me tell you why I disagree with you. Back in the day, like I want to say 20 years ago, when you guys were a lot younger, there was a lot of they get away with it. I want to say 25 years ago, there was a lot of, they got away with it because they was a professional athlete or they was famous. Nowadays, no.
But I don't think that disagrees with my point.
Right,
I think things are getting better.
Yeah.
But I still think that, and we can kind of go to another topic, which is drug use.
Yeah.
There is a legal amount of steroids that are given to football players. It's a legal amount. It's accepted. Now, depending on the person, that can affect you in different ways, but we know scientifically that...
See, now that surprised me because I didn't know of any legal amount of steroids that was accepted. I always thought that that was just taboo. Period. Forget about it. No.
They get a cocktail of drugs. Don't be fooled.
No,
That's
no.
how they're able to keep coming back.
No. I know that because I make a joke. Like sometimes a player will get injured and he'll go in the locker room. I said, they just going to give him a shot and come back.
Exactly.
However, I know that there's a shot that exists, but that's not steroids. That's pain medicine, for sure.
They won't say it's steroids because with the FDA and pharmaceutical definitions and things, you don't have to say something is something.
Well, maybe it's something like a steroid, but it's a different name.
Yes.
Maybe.
And no average person can come right back onto the field after some of the injuries that these people have.
Look,
so they're
with the right dose of pain medicine, but again, we're talking pain medicine versus, steroids, if that's a total...
Pain medicine has uppers in it. That's what pain medicine is. It has speed.
Pain medicine is to numb it, but...
That's part of it, but an integral ingredient in any opiate that's for relief of pain is speed. And speed is something that ups your heart rate and makes you more aggressive. And so for football players, there's going to be a higher dosage. And I don't want to name any names, but I personally have girlfriends who have dated NFL football players, and they have told her, we get these shots. We get performance enhancement drugs, so I know it for a fact.
Okay. All right.
And I think these things are connected, as well as concussions and other things, to some of the bad behavior that we see.
That's a possibility. And then you were bringing up the other football player.
Brian Banks. This case reminds me of Brian Banks. He was a high school football athlete star who was falsely accused of rape. He spent 10 years in jail.
Now hold on. He was accused.
Yes,
he was accused of rape. No, he was accused. And he got sentenced and did time. 10 years of his life he spent behind bars just to find out that it was a lie. and he had not raped this young lady, and he was in high school. He was around the same age as Jameis. So those are the two cases and the instances that we have to be careful of before rushing to judgment. You have the Brian Banks cases where he was clearly lied on, and you know, they came back, found that after 10 years of his life was lost, his football career was lost, and he spent 10 years of his life in prison for a lie.
Yeah.
Just because a female, and there was DNA present, and there was all these things present, and so they said, yes, you were guilty, but then they found out 10 years later that he wasn't. So now, this leads me to my last question, and we're gonna wrap it up. Do you think that this accusation of rape, this whole case, is going to affect Jameis for the Heisman Trophy race? Do you think that this accusation is going to sway the voters against him? Let's hear from you first, Nina. What do you think?
I don't think so much that it will, just because they said they didn't have enough evidence.
Okay.
So in a way, I don't think it will.
Okay, Nina. I mean, Ebony.
I'm kind of biased. You're gonna have some people who side with the victim and some who side with the falsely accused. So I'm kind of biased.
Okay.
No, I think the public has a very short memory. Many athletes are accused of heinous acts, and we talk about it for about 3 months, and then it goes away. Roethlisberger, you know,
Yeah.
Kobe Bryant. No, I don't think. Especially if it's dismissed and you're found not culpable.
Well, you know what? I disagree. I really believe that it's going to affect his chances, because I really believe that Americans are not as forgiving as you think. I look at Michael Vick. Michael Vick fought dogs. He didn't rape anybody. He didn't assault any human beings. He didn't do anything to a human person, but he went through so much behind fighting dogs. And even after he did his time and came back, today, years later, they're still on him. I believe Americans are so non-forgiving, and I believe that it is going to hurt his chances. I really believe it's going to hurt him. Now, they may say, no, it didn't hurt it. I just think that's a lie. I believe it's going to hurt his chances. And he's 18 years old. They'll use the excuse, oh, he's young, he can come back, he can try again. I really believe that it's going to hurt his chances, because I just believe that they're not as forgiving. I really, 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 really do. Well, again, this has been Ladies in the Locker Room. And what do you think? Do you think it's going to hurt his chances for the Heisman run? Do you think it's going to affect his career in the NFL? Or even his career in college? To be accused of rape and then to live it down is a whole nother ball game. He's got to live that down throughout his life. No matter where he goes, no matter what he becomes, he's going to be Jameis Winston, the boy that was accused of rape in college football. He's going to be that for the rest of his life, and I really think it's going to have somewhat of effect. If you'd like to give us your opinion, please go to ladiesinTheLockerRoom@gmail.com or visit us at ladiesinTheLockerRoom.com and tell us what you think. What are your thoughts? Do you think that this is going to hurt his chances with the Heisman, or do you think it's going to affect him at all? Or do you think, like Rahmana says, we have such a short-term memory, they'll forget about it next week and he'll be on to the next game and won't even worry about it? Tell us what you think. Join Ladies in the Locker Room each Monday night at the Hudson Grill, or log on, like I said, www.ladiesinTheLockerRoom.com, or go to ladiesinTheLockerRoom@gmail.com and tell us what you think. This has been Ladies in the Locker Room. Good night.
Hi, we're Ladies in the Locker Room. Please join the Ladies in the Locker Room this holiday season as we help women in shelters by collecting toiletry items.
What we're asking is for you to take a small shoebox and fill it with some goodies like shampoo, conditioner, toothpaste and toothbrush, deodorant, body wash, and of course, some sanitary napkins.
So come on out and join the Ladies in the Locker Room at Hudson Grill in Sandy Springs, Georgia at 7:30 p.m. on Monday, December 16th. And join us as we help our ladies in need.
We really need your help. We're looking forward to it.